All right, let's talk about the Pistons' needs. And I talk to people in passing, online, and So, one of the big things that come up when talking about Detroit, the Pistons, like, what's their biggest need? Is it a stretch four? And we know Jalen Rose said they need to find a stretch four. I mean, I feel like that's disrespectful to Tobias Harris, but I get it. I think Tobias is good enough to play the three if they wanted to, but his contract is imperative in a lot of big trades. Whether it's Book, it's whoever it is, the guys that y'all really pedestalizing, his contract is is just it's what that needs to be in there. So whether it's Book or whoever it may be, right? Um, you know, his contract got to be in there. So is it more of another wing score, another like guard type of swing score? Is it or a big guy? And one thing, I was kind of looking at Lloyd Marketing, highlights, and I'm gonna continue to look at him. I didn't really know like he had the bag like that. I know he can, get it off the dribble. He was jumping above the rim. His ability to from the post. I mean, he's a solid rebounder. I like to see guys like him, around 10 or 10 plus, but he's right around 8, 9. Last year he had a knee contusion, so that kind of stopped him a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So I would like to, but I didn't really know he was a scorer like that, and I kind of seeing a little bit of watching him. I seen him play. I mean, we played in Chicago. He'll pull up. He could pull up, get a bucket. I mean, he's fairly athletic. He's an athletic 7-footer. I think we started talking about the athletic 7-footers. In there. Remember? I mean, he kind of like he's not as girthy. As DeMarcus Cousins, but he kind of remind me of like what Cousins was doing. Cousins was getting it. Cousins was like Cousins was taking people off the dribble. He kind of remind me of that, but more athletic. But like that's why I said Cousins wasn't at. Well, Cousins was more stocky. He seemed like he was a bigger guy. Laurie Marketing is smaller, so he's a little bit more fluid. So I kind of think if you go get a Laurie Marketing, I kind of believe that, in my opinion, I believe that you kind of get the best of both worlds. You know what I'm saying? Like he can score, he can spot up and shoot. He's a 3-level scorer. He can get it from the wing, out at the 3-point line. He can get it off the bounce and finish at the mid range. He can post and he can finish above the rim. So, in my opinion, you got a guy that can run with the Pistons. I don't know about his facilitation game, but you ain't worried about that. And what that may allow you to do is allow you to see what Jaden Ivey can do, and really you got some answers. That's the one thing about like adding a Zion or adding a Ja Morant. I'm just talking strictly hypothetical, right? Is the fact that when you add, basically what I'm saying, when you add a non-shooter, you kind of got to move things around. We see they may be trying to get a stretch 5 and get rid of Durant, whatever it may be, right? I get it. But when you got Durant out there and then you got a Sar Thompson, you really can't, and Ron Hollins that you still developing, and thank God for thank God you got a guy like thank God you got a guy like a guy like Jaden Ivey who shot the ball a lot better, last season. But when you add another non-shooter, that kind of like complicates shit. That complicates shit. So yeah. So I think with Lawyer Marketing, they listening to offers. It don't mean they will or won't trade them, but they listening to offers. They listening to offers, and I think he kind of give you, that stretch forward that can shoot, and he also give you that dynamic score. 2010, can go for 30. And then if you able to keep Ivy, you're able to develop Asar, Ron, or somebody like that where they can, start to, just shoot the ball a little bit. I think that's a good offense. So I'm kind of, the more and more I'm looking into them, the more and more, um, I'm looking, I'm like, man, it might make a lot of sense. It might make a lot of sense, in my opinion, for them to go out there and make a play. It might make a lot of sense for them to go out there and make a play. You know, that might make a tremendous amount of sense. Go out there, press play on Laurie Marketing. You got the Warrior fans, and that's one thing about the Warriors. They always want somebody to come save Steph Curry ass. That's my problem. They always want they just need more and more and more. But no offense, I like Steph, but Marketing would be a good play for the Pistons. Defensively, I don't know. Got to do more research on that. But from a scoring standpoint of view, get him. Beasley say he could put a plug in his ear. You keep Schroeder, you keep Beasley. You're gonna lose somebody. I don't know who that may be. I think Ivy is probably gonna be safe. So really, what it boiled down to is draft picks. Tobias Harris. You'd probably down, to be honest with you. You probably gonna be down either Asar, Ivy, or Ron Hollins. That's who you probably gonna be down. That's who you probably gonna be down. So, that's who you probably gonna be down. So that's something to think about. But honestly, I think it's a good fit. I think it's a good fit, man. So, but I think he already in the contract for a couple years. So, yeah, it might make sense. So, let me know what y'all think. But I think at that point, that's more important than the wing. That's more important than getting another scoring. Because I think he is like a scoring wing. He kind of like a hybrid. He can score outside. He can post up, give you the stretch four. He played the three. He played the four. He could play the five. You know what I'm saying? He move his feet. He could post up. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. Defensively might be a question, but then on the wing, if you just keep Asar or you just keep Jaden Ivey or you just keep Ron Hollins, if you could develop them, I think you'll be straight. So, GI Detroit Lions Piston Talk playlist. Hit the link in the description. Follow me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Amazon, Kick, Twitch, wherever I'm at in the link tree. Follow me. Peace.